Walking is a common and repetitive task that many do not think about or take for granted. If you really think about it, it seems almost like a privilege, yet many would prefer driving, cycling, or taking the bus over walking. As the world continues to rapidly accept and engineer technology, the definition of walking, the whole purpose and meaning of walking to humanity will change. Looking at the various texts read in class, my in-person experiences of walking, new modern technology, and the popular game of Minecraft, I set forth to prove humans have begun the process of merging virtual reality into reality, ultimately making it merely a reality. Let's begin by looking at the core basics of walking. It is calculated without being calculated. It is consistent. Let's look at my mini study posted on CCLE for week 5 titled The Quantitative and Qualitative Aspects of Walking. In it, I timed my steps and breath and came out with these data points. On my third trial, I recorded that I took approximately 128 steps, or 64 pairs of steps within 1 minute and 39 seconds. Upon recently redoing this walk, I documented similar numbers. Similarly, looking at this graph on breathing, the numbers seem consistent. I conclude that I take a breath in on average 2.25 seconds after breathing out, with one major outlier of 4.39 seconds. On average, every full breath takes approximately 7.4 seconds. However, it is somewhat biased because I did not complete the last full cycle of breaths, the last one in breathing out. My walking and breathing show consistencies in patterns, showing how innate and somewhat robotic or repetitive our movements are. As calculated as it is, though, we do not pay attention to it. My calculations may be unreliable, though, since being aware of the task of walking and breathing can alter the way in which I do so. That is where Edward Muybridge Plates from Animal Locomotion comes in, though. Plate 1 shows a naked man walking. His structure, posture, and pace seems consistent. Or how about plate 105, displaying a woman walking while holding a pot? All the photos come together and seem to fit in. The only times the plates stop looking consistent is when the person displayed had a physical issue. For example, plate 550 shows a man with locomotor ataxia. It is very evident from the series of photographs that he is unable to walk normally. It catches our attention because walking is such a defining factor in everyday human life. So walking is repetitive. So what? You may ask. Well, I just wanted to show how mathematical the act is and therefore natural. And the only time that it's not mathematical is when there's some sort of issue in the locomotion of the human. Has anyone noticed how mathematical the world is, and yet natural? Let's take, for example, the golden ratio. This mathematical equation is seen in many things in nature, from plants to ocean waves to human hearts. According to the International Journal of Cardiology, in their work titled The Human Heart, Application of the Golden Ratio and Angle, they conclude after much calculation that their findings show that the overall cardiac and ventricular dimensions in a normal heart are consistent within an approximation of the golden ratio of 1.618 and the golden angle of 137.5 degrees, representing optimum pump structure and function efficiency. This is on paragraph 11. Not only do human hearts follow the golden ratio, but in doing so, it created an optimum pump structure and improved function efficiency. This shows how mathematics unknowingly hide in the background of reality, so much so to the point of questioning, are we in a virtual world? There is no point of trying to prove or disprove that theory, though, because unless our skies literally project the answer to us, everything is merely a speculation. Additionally, even if we knew we lived in a virtual simulation, it wouldn't change the fact that it is ultimately our reality. So let's move on and look into how our reality is leading to a virtual future. I will begin finding answers through playing Minecraft. It is the most downloaded game in the world, and despite falling behind Grand Theft Auto, it rose back to the top in late 2019 amongst the pandemic. Minecraft is a game where you can do anything your heart desires. You can be a hermit or play multiplayer, settle in a city you built from scratch, or conquer a dragon. On top of that, the game is easily modded, allowing for more possibilities in the world. For this project, I will be playing the game and compare my feelings to that of my walk in the real world. I begin the game by creating a new world. You may add a seed, which gives you a specific world, or have it be randomized. I compare this to searching up a place on Google versus going on a random walk. I kept my difficulty at normal because I didn't plan on having an overly dangerous walk. I just wanted a normal average walk around. The world has loaded, and immediately I see apparent danger and hidden danger. The lava is danger that I can see clearly, so I walk away from it immediately, only to find a dark cave where mobs can spawn and attack me. I was reminded of when I decided to take this one walk in downtown. There were times where I felt unsafe because there are unfortunately people who pose a threat openly wandering the streets. Moreover, there are some alleyways I would avoid and never walk by myself. As I continued my Minecraft walk, I came across a beautiful forest and decided I wanted to explore a bit. As you can tell by now, much of the game consists of walking, just like in real life. Going through, I was reminded of the botanical garden at UCLA. When I was there, I thought everything was so beautiful and peaceful. But after further evaluation, I realized the garden was not real. It was real in the sense that it existed, but it was man-made, thus being a simulation of nature. That somehow made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. I'd take my walk somewhere I thought would be more nature-like for me. While I was at Eaton Canyon, I was trying to feel what nature was really like. There, I was able to closely experience nature. I experienced peace, happiness, and fear. I feared I didn't bring enough water for the hike. I feared venomous snakes, coyotes, and mountain lions. But I also felt at peace with the flowing river that naturally covered the earth. The variety of California native plants that flourished in a desert-like oasis. I eventually realized, though, that the sights were real, but my fears were not. Most animals know to stay off the path due to heavy traffic. The fact that there was a man-made path should have given me security on my trip, as I could always find my way back. Walking at Eaton Canyon was still, although not fully, somewhat a simulation. Being raised in the city has made me fearful of venturing off the trail and climbing or ascending steep rocks, so I could not truly experience nature in that way. But there was one way I knew how. In Minecraft, I could experience nature 100% randomly generated, which will give me a unique terrain to venture into. I could climb the highest mountains and sail through the ocean. Doing so, I get the same feeling I would in reality. I could feel excitement, happiness, peacefulness, and fear, which makes me feel alive. And I know that if I die in game, I can just respawn, but when you take thousands of steps in game, it feels like all your progress is lost. There's a sense of sadness, just like in reality. As I continue the game, I noticed my health going down and decided to eat some carrots. This reminded me of a device I heard called the Norimaki synthesizer. This device, created in Japan, allows any flavor to be simulated using 5 base gel flavors. We have sweet, salty, umami, bitter, and acidic. This small device, being small enough to fit in your pocket, could be implemented in a virtual reality world like Minecraft one day, and players can taste the foods they eat in-game. So we have emotional feelings being in-game, and now one-day taste. But how about touch and pain? Well, science has gotten that figured out as well. Eva Frederick, a writer for Science.org, wrote in her article, "Watch a lightweight glove allow users to feel objects in virtual reality," that existing VR gloves mostly allows the user to feel the texture of an object using vibrations. They don't sense shape, or they require a heavy motor or air compressors to put pressure on the user's hand to do so. And that the scientists have created a prototype which a team member wore the glove to interact with a virtual chessboard. When the virtual hand touched a piece, software prompted the glove to produce electricity, which caused the center part of the glove's fingertips to fill with air, giving a sense of the object's shape. This was in paragraph 2 and paragraph 4. This means that every step I take in the Minecraft world, every experience I will encounter, could one day have a device that can simulate all the senses that humans feel in everyday life, all using science and numbers, just like nature. As I continue playing the game, I realize that all these technologies can also help the mobilely disabled to be able to one day experience walking. I also remember the text from week 2 by Ferris Shavar, "Why Walking Helps Us Think." Throughout the Minecraft playthrough, I was able to think of all these ideas that I added research on later, and remember certain points I've forgotten about in the past. It's a little crazy how much I thought through while walking in Minecraft. Although there is so much more to talk about in linking a walk in reality to virtual reality, this video would be far too long if I went into it. For example, I could also talk about how everything I did in game, from exploring to hunting to building shelter, mimicked how human civilization probably started. As I build new tools, I am too walking in the shoes of ancient humans who had to gather materials and craft as well. In all, walking is a part of everyday life, and everything that was spoken about today was created and done by someone who literally and/or symbolically walked. The various scientists walk through each step of the process to create simulating devices such as the Norimaki synthesizer and gloves that can make you feel the texture and shape of a virtual environment. I walked through UCLA's Botanical Garden, Eaton Canyon, and in the Minecraft world. Lastly, this video took everyone step by step towards revealing how virtual reality is becoming closer to simply reality.